Hey guys, in this little video I'm going to show you how to use the perspective guide tool. Now when you click on that, you will notice that there is a few different tools that we can use. The very first one here is the 1-point perspective. The reason it's called a 1-point perspective is because there is only one point on our horizon line. Now if you click on that point, you can move it up and down and you can move it across your page. You will also notice that my cursor has now changed and I have dotted lines. These dotted lines indicate where your line is going to go when you draw it. So I can draw up and down like it shows on my cursor, but you will notice that there's one line that is continuously pointing at that vanishing point or that dot there. So if I click and then go in the direction of that line, it will draw a line towards that dot. So if I change that dot somewhere else, those angled lines will now go towards that dot. Alright, which brings us to our 2-point perspective. Now the same here, we've got 2 points on our horizon line and we can move these 2 points anywhere on our screen. Again, I can now draw, which is dragging and dropping on my cursor, I can draw to those 2 vanishing points. If I move them, I can then draw to that point. Okay, which brings us to our 3-point perspective. Same thing, you can move your dots anywhere on your screen, and with your cursor you can click and drag in the direction of any of those dots to create a line in that direction. Please be really careful when you do this. Now that you've got 3 points, you need to be very precise with where you click and drag, or you might end up drawing a line to the wrong dot point. Okay, which brings us to our ellipse tool. Now, same thing, the one in the middle will allow us to move our ellipse anywhere on the screen. If you click and drag on any of the 4 dots on the outside, it will simply enlarge your circle. Okay, same thing, our mouse or our cursor has now changed and we can draw a line between any of these outer circles, and we can draw diagonally through the middle section. Okay, so that brings us to these last 2 little icons. Now you'll notice that when I'm clicking and dragging, my cursor has those dotted lines, which means that that's the line I'm going to draw. If I click on this little magnet looking icon, it will lock that, which means that I can now free draw and it will not draw towards those lines. The locked one here indicates that my perspective is not going to accidentally move while I'm drawing. So I can draw and I'm not going to accidentally move it as I'm going. Now, if it isn't locked, it means that I could very accidentally move it mid-drawing, which means that I've got to go back and try and figure out where it was. So that's really handy if you're going to do something for a long period of time and you don't want your guide to move. The very last tool here is the eyeball or the visibility, okay, and that just means that you don't see that guide. You can still draw between all of those points, your guide simply disappears. And there you have it. Have fun, guys.